from the Schmoes No Network Studios in Los Angeles, California, it's time for Box Office Breakdown, where all the weekend numbers get chewed up, analyzed, and spit back in your face. And now, here's your host, the lovely Sara Stretton, the diabolical Finstock, and every man's hero, J.T.E.
Hello, Schmoeville. Welcome back to Box Office Breakdown. Of course, we're going to get into the top 5 movies for this past weekend. We're also going to talk about the international market. We're going to get into a top 5 list. People have been asking me how I'm liking doing this show, and typically I'm really excited about it. Today, I'm a little scared. You have to be nice to me. I am alone with Finstock.
JTE is on location in Vietnam. I sent him there because he was... really stressed out over the trial that we had, on Thursday, and which was a big success. I think
it's good. He can relax. He can appreciate that he was found not guilty.
Yes.
And just enjoy being right.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like I said, we proved, beyond a shadow of a doubt that, he was innocent, and, Schmoeville went with it, and he got found not guilty. I mean, and that was your first appearance on the show, and I think you did a great job.
I mean, I was happy to be there.
I was kind of upset that you were going to hold his, when we were hanging over the cliff, that you were going to hold his hand and not mine, but that's fine.
I told you, Team JTE.
I'm a little lighter than him.
That's not nice.
Well, I mean,
but I find him worth saving, so how does that make you feel?
That's probably, it's probably
okay,
good.
We're going to move on. JTE hopefully will be able to call in from location, but what you guys are here for is mostly to hear about some numbers. So let's start with number 5 this weekend. Surprisingly, Dolphin Tale 2 still in the top 5. Yeah. I was shocked. I think we're at 4.8 million. Mm-hmm. Number 4, This Is Where I Leave You, 7 million. Now we're gonna get into top 3, which was much more competitive this week, and took me by surprise a little bit. Box Strolls, number 3, 17.25 million, which is actually very high. It's higher than I expected.
Correct.
Number 2, Maze Runner, also 17.5. So those two were neck and neck with how much they brought in.
Absolutely.
And number 1, we all knew this one was coming.
Yes.
Mr. Denzel himself in The Equalizer.
That
$35 million.
That's a big number for Sony. There's a party going on at Denzel Washington's house right now. I mean, if I was him, I'd party every single day, and I'm sure he does. But that's a really nice number for a great actor.
We got some good numbers in general this weekend, and especially for what opened up in September. I think The Equalizer was like the ranked number 4 in September openings.
Yes, behind Hotel Transylvania, which is the number 1 at like 42.
And I mean, that we can completely owe to star power.
Absolutely.
The Equalizer, breaking it down, obviously we have Denzel. We're going to talk a little bit about him, about him later. Right. But in the marketing scheme, he was the face of this movie.
Absolutely.
It wasn't about the director.
No.
And he has done multiple stuff. He did like King Arthur. He's done movies with like $120 million budgets.
Of course.
He's been all over the place, but it's not being broadcast that way. It's totally Denzel's movie.
Right.
They were even kind of not pushing aside, but lowering Chloe Moretz's appearance.
It doesn't even really look like her. It wasn't even
about her.
She apparently it doesn't look like her at all. She looks very mature in this.
Well, the role was supposed to be older.
Well, it's almost like a taxi driver type thing. She plays a hooker, and who's controlled by the violent Russian mob guys and things like that. This movie, the trailers weren't great. They weren't. No. It was the marketing that did it, and Sony always has good marketing, and for some reason they just know what they're doing, and they got some really smart people over there. This is a
star power movie,
Big
and
time.
they had multiple stars in it. Chloe had If I Stay this summer. She's been all over the marketplace, and they didn't even need to hone in on her image.
No.
Because he was carrying this whole film, and that's what brought in the audience.
Yep.
And I mean, it is rated R, so it is more his demographic than hers.
Of course.
She does lean more towards the teen market towards...
It was an A- cinema score, which is great for an R-rated movie. Usually, they float around in the Bs and stuff like that. But when him and Antoine Fuqua, get together, like, Training Day and a couple other things they have done, but they work really well together, and he brings out the best in Denzel, and I think he brings out Denzel brings out the best in Antoine. This movie's gonna go well over $100 million. and that's pretty good for this kind of movie, for sure.
Well, it's just the first week, so we'll have to see what the track is, how much it drops next week, if we can get any more predictions out of that.
No.
Going more into Maze Runner, I knew it was going to bring in money, but it only had, I believe, like a 46% drop, which sounds like a lot, but actually isn't for the type of movie this is. Like, we're normally seeing something 50 or above. Right. So it's hanging on.
It is. It's doing really well overseas, and we'll get to that in a little bit. This movie, next year at this time, you're going to see another one because it's slated for this time. It's not going to crack 100 million domestically. And usually the rule of thumb is when, in order to get a sequel, it needs to make over 100 domestically.
Oh, this one's already getting a sequel.
Oh, yeah.
It
already has a due date.
Know that.
And they're already about to shoot it. But you know what it is? America's got to realize, they're making movies now for overseas audiences. We're not the leader anymore, and it's becoming.
And Maze
Runner
is definitely for that market, I would say.
Absolutely.
I've seen Maze Runner is one of the only ones that I got to see this past week, and I was very excited about it.
For the dudes, like there was like no shirt stuff going on like MTV.
I did watch a little bit of Teen Wolf. I am a fan of his.
Okay.
It just also looked visually appealing, and I will give it that it was. What I was surprised, I think last week on predictions, I did think Maze Runner was going to be in the top 3.
So did I.
After seeing it, I was surprised it was there because I had some very big problems with that movie and its plot holes. Yeah. And word of mouth has not been good. No. So I thought we were going to see a bigger drop this week just because people coming out of it are not thrilled.
Yeah.
They're not saying go see it. They're not really hyped about it. And for teen movies, that is what you need.
Yes.
Like, you need people to keep talking about it. So that's why I was so surprised that it was only 46.
The trailers weren't great either. I thought the marketing was not great. Maybe they just geared it towards overseas because it's doing gangbusters over there. A hell of a lot more than they're doing over here.
They don't care about us anymore.
They don't.
And then we go, Box Trolls, doing very well for a claymation movie.
Stop
motion.
Yeah.
It is much higher than, we're going to compare these to like your Coraline.
Of course.
To Paranorman. And it's doing really well, which is interesting because I don't think that it did have quite the same appeal for the story as those movies did.
Correct. I mean, it's got a B plus cinema score, which is good for those kind of movies. I think, with Dolphin Tale being out last week, and obviously it was evident that the parents were like, all right, we're not seeing anything. We're going to go see Equalizer. You guys can play in the yard or something like that. I mean,
go enjoy the last bits of summer.
Right.
I mean, for a little more.
I thought this was going to do at least 20.
Really?
But I think Maze Runner and Dolphin Tale took away from this movie big time.
I think Maze Runner did. I'm
Yeah.
not sure about Dolphin Tale. To me, it's just interesting because although I really want to see this movie because of the creativity behind it,
yes,
I'm not as drawn in by the actual storyline.
No.
I don't really understand what's going on.
Yeah, they're like sewer kids and they're like dirty and stuff, and
it's like a different family.
Yeah, and it seemed very annoying to me, and I think that's maybe another reason why parents don't want their kids running around talking like little box troll people at the house.
Yeah, that's what they're thinking.
Yeah,
they're definitely thinking I'm not going to see this because of they don't want them wearing boxes.
Yeah, there's like some guy who repeats himself constantly, and like Halloween's coming up, they got to see their kid dressed up as a box troll. They don't want that.
We're gonna stop talking about that. We already talked about This Is Where I Leave You last week, and we went over Dolphin Tale.
Yeah.
I think it's more important for us to go to those international numbers a little bit.
It's chicky stuff. I mean, This Is Where I Leave You is a chick movie. Like I said last week, yoga pants, stroller, moms go see this, and and they want that. Like I said, it's the escape from reality.
Okay. Anyway, international numbers. Maze Runner did a ton of money overseas, as you said. Let's count. It includes 3.2 from Australia.
It's a lot of money.
Thank you, Australians. China, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, 7.5 million. Going back to Maze Runner is doing really well internationally, but it has not been released. I don't even think it's been released in China yet.
No.
So we're going to get even bigger numbers there.
In like 3 years.
It's already doing well.
I'm
we'll
kidding.
give it a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And then it'll come out there. Do you have, I heard we're doing a little bit, you were doing your game again, but you've changed the rules.
Yes, my game has changed.
Do you want to explain?
Yeah. So basically it's bizarre foreign movie titles for American movies. It was getting a little too hard to guess because it's so obscure. So basically what we're going to do here is I'm going to give you 3 and one is going to be false. You have to pick the false one out that I made up
So it's
myself.
like 2 truths and a lie?
Pretty much, yeah. But in
Okay.
like a foreign box office bazaar.
I want JT here. I want him to be able to guess first.
He's pretty good at it.
I
Because he
know.
knows a lot of stuff. The guy's just unbelievable.
JT, love him. He's just lucky.
He's a lucky guy.
He's very lucky.
Yep, he is. You're right.
He
is.
just, like, the information comes to him just like a split second before, or he, like, misses something and then gets things right, like
Yeah.
about his predictions of last week, which we'll get into
He
later.
pulls stuff out of his hat all the time. I don't know how he does
Just
it.
a lucky guy.
Yeah, so the foreign movie
I will try and
titles.
play.
Let's try it here. Okay.
make-
Free Willy in China is called A Very Powerful Whale Runs to Heaven. Okay.
Runs to heaven?
Runs
okay, that
to
one's
heaven.
inaccurate because it'd be swims to heaven.
Okay. Flight. Denzel movie. The pilot is a drunk idiot. Or The Matrix, the young people who traverse dimensions while wearing sunglasses.
Okay.
You take a wild guess.
I
Play
think-
along with Schmoeville too.
Oh
You can
gosh.
See which one it is.
I really want to lean towards Free Willy just because whales can't run. They have to swim.
Yeah, but maybe in China that's what they do. I mean, I don't know. They run, walk. They don't
And
know
I
what they're
just
doing
think
over there.
that The Matrix just got extended to like 7 words or something. So I really think that might be wrong
Mm-hmm.
because it should only be like 3 maybe.
Okay.
I think Free Willy's wrong. Tell me I'm right.
No,
What?
that's what it's called. I made up the Denzel one, which is
Of course, the only one I didn't guess.
the pilot is a drunk idiot. I'm sure it's pretty close to that, but I don't think they would say he was a drunk idiot. They love Denzel over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
I'm not
that's what it is. So you were wrong. I'm sure JT would have got it right.
Probably.
Yeah. That knows
Anyway,
everything.
guys, we're going to go on to our top 5 list. Speaking of Denzel, because he seems to be running this podcast today.
Yeah, he box trolled everybody this week.
We're going to go into top 5 Denzel movies worldwide. I mean, he has some huge money makers.
Oh yeah.
Let's start with number 5, Inside Man.
Mm-hmm.
184.4. Then we're going to go to The Pelican Brief, which I've actually never seen.
It's a good flick. It's very good.
195.3.
That was Julia Roberts coming off a Pretty Woman too, so that's not all Denzel at that
Yeah,
point.
I think that was some shared star power.
Absolutely.
Going up to number 3, Philadelphia.
Good flick.
206.7. Now, you can't. Oh, I didn't want you to be able to look because I wanted you to guess number 1, number 2.
Okay.
But you guys out there, number 1, number 2, Safe House coming in second with 208.1.
That's a big surprise.
It's also very close to his number 3. I mean, 206, 208. Then we do take a jump to American Gangster with 266.5.
That was I didn't like that movie at all, but it had so much hype around it and so many people seen it. And Russell Crowe was still, it's before he started throwing cell phones at people and everybody, before he started like singing and doing music or whatever. When he was a real actor, I don't know what he's doing now.
He still pulls in numbers.
Not as much, well, overseas, but everybody does apparently.
Anyone who has a big name.
But I got some facts about Denzel, and they're very
great.
interesting stuff.
Are they real facts?
Yeah, there are. I mean,
Where'd you get them from? Because this is coming from Box Office Mojo.
Yeah, this is
and
this is
I
from Box
believe
Office Mojo.
them.
This
These
is
are from Box Office
yes.
Mojo.
The crazy part about Denzel is he's never been in a sequel. He has no tentpole movies, and his movies have grossed worldwide $3.4 billion. That's pretty damn impressive. It's not even like he's not Johnny Depp and he's not playing like this pirate 3 times. He's not doing all these sequels and Toy Stories and lends his voice to animation or whatever the case may be. This guy just acts all the time in standalone movies, and $3.5 billion or $4 billion is just, it's pretty damn impressive. The guy should pat himself on the back every single day. And he's a nice guy too, obviously, from the story last week. But his movies, every single movie he's done, they average at least $50 million. I mean, we're talking, from as early on when, he's doing like Devil in a Blue Dress and Jungle Fever and other things like that, where it make 20 million in the box office.
He's consistent.
He is. Adult couples love him. Women love him. Guys love him. Guys want to be him. It's just his star is going to keep shining bright, and he'll probably act till he's dead.
Do you think he's going to keep up with this action movie? Do you want to see him spread out in his next movies coming out?
I think eventually he'll have to. I mean, he's getting a little older, I mean, you can't kick ass for that long. I mean, you can, but then you wind up in like Expendables, you know. Not to knock on Stallone, obviously, is my buddy, but you know, nobody wants to see these guys anymore. It's almost like a baseball pitcher. You have to change up. You're not throwing 99 miles an hour anymore. Well, and you're throwing 85. You got to switch up your game. You got to throw some curveballs and screwballs and things like that.
Denzel and like Liam Neeson, they do have potential to keep growing though because they are such strong actors.
Yes.
That while their careers have been built on these action movies and being the tough guy, they've proven that they can handle the material.
Sure.
And they're going to be able to keep growing into other genres, taking on other roles once they can't, whether it's physically or want to do these action movies anymore.
Absolutely.
And people are
totally
going to still
correct.
see them because I think like people aren't just going to see their movies because of the action. They're going solely because they believe they're going to get a good, believable performance out of these actors.
Correct.
And they just completely believe them. So there's still hope. He's going to get great movies.
You might see, he may go to the podium for this one. I don't know about winning.
Really?
But, you know, I think he's there again, especially if this movie does 100. It's around that time. You know, people are not going to forget it. Be like, oh, we got to throw Denzel in here. You know, because there hasn't been that many spectacular performances this year. I mean, I think Gone Girl, as we're going to talk about shortly, is probably going to give Ben Affleck a definite shot at that. Because anytime Fincher's in...
Well, we don't typically don't get those nominated movies up until November.
Correct.
December. That's when we'll really get all the potentials.
All right.
I think that we might have a visitor coming.
Do we really?
I think so.
I think we might know who it is.
I heard something.
Do we have somebody on the phone we're looking for?
I don't know.
Hello?
Oh my God. Is this the man?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What's up, man? How was the flight? We got JTE on the phone from Vietnam.
Yep. It's really hot and muggy here. The mosquitoes are huge. I'm kind of hating it.
Is it true the Vietnam Air the stewardess, they dress like strippers, right?
Maybe. It's definitely on that borderline where it could either be they could be an escort or they could just be a flight attendant.
Gotcha.
I didn't really make a move.
Good job. I'm proud of you.
So, I mean, basically, I know you're really excited. You got off on the trial. Everybody knew it. I mean, and now you're just celebrating because you're under a lot of high stress here. And that's, it's a wonderful picture of you. Is that the Ho Chi Minh Trail you're on? I think that's the Ho Chi Minh Trail.
I'm going there later with some tour guides. Not the nicest looking guys. They got like AKs and bandanas, but they promised they got my best intentions in mind. You know what? This ain't the best vacation. I'm going to tell you right now. It's hot. It's muggy. It's really humid. Everyone here is just kind of like in a bad mood. I can understand why these people are always at war. No one's happy. It's a miserable place, to be honest with you.
Wow,
Then come back, because we miss you.
You know, the little known fact.
And I really need you to be a buffer here between me and Finstock.
Yeah, we're getting really close.
Too condensed. I came here because I thought they shot Rambo 2 here, and I wanted to do some location scouting, visit the sites, but apparently they shot that thing in Mexico.
Oh, wow. Well, that's a big, no-no. How'd that happen? I could have told you they shot that in Mexico.
Wait. Hold on. But JT, I'm so glad you're on the phone because I actually want to talk to you. We have to congratulate you. You won last week's predictions. So you're at 1.
Yes, I heard.
Finstock's at 1.
He went 5 for 5. Pretty amazing stuff.
Dolphin Tale 2, man. Dolphin Tale 2 really came through for me.
That was it. You pulled it out of your ass, dude. I don't know how you did that.
We've just decided you're very lucky.
Yeah, you're just a lucky person overall.
So
I'm not going to lie. I didn't put a lot of thought into that list last week.
Huh.
Have you put any thought into your list this week?
This I did. I actually, I had a lot of time on the flight. It was really long, so I really just kind of went through the numbers with a fine-tooth comb and picked someone out.
Do you want to head us off with your predictions?
All right, I'll go 1 through 5. If that's okay with you guys.
Go right ahead.
I'm gonna go number 1. I'm sticking with the Equalizer. I think Denzel's gonna keep it going.
Okay.
Word of mouth is gonna help that movie.
Okay.
Number 2 is Gone Girl.
Wow.
Because it's the beginning of the award season. Everyone wants to see Ben Affleck. He's really hot right now with the whole Batman thing.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, I'm going to go Annabelle. The horror crowd's going to come out. There really hasn't been a horror film besides Tusk, and that was a really limited release.
Yep.
Number 4, I'm going to say Maze Runner. I think it's going to drop off quite a bit. I know it did okay last week, but I think it's going to still drop off.
Right.
And number 5, I'm sticking with the Tina Fey comedy, This Is Where I Leave You.
Wow.
Okay. That's interesting.
I think that's a pretty solid list, guys.
Where's Box Trolls?
Have fun with your one win because you're not winning this week. Gone Girl is going to make a ton of cash. You're nuts.
Is that your number one pick?
Yeah, I'm going to get into that. I got a little story about Gone Girl, too.
Do you want to give me your list first, or are you going to give me a story
There's some people
first?
kicking me out of this place, so I think I got to get out of here.
Are you okay?
Get off me, bro.
Are you okay?
Get off me. Get him out. Yo, what the hell is American?
Well, I guess we lost
All I
him.
heard was I'm American. It's because he's
Oh,
tramping
no.
around that flag.
He might be dead. I hope he's not dead.
He'll
JT,
be back next
please text me when you get back. That didn't sound good. Not at all.
We'll call him back. I'm sure he's okay,
Yeah.
guys. Don't
we're gonna-
worry.
Yeah, I'll go into
Too much.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine. He's got the American flag.
Are you giving me a story, or are you giving me a list?
I'm going to give you a list with the story.
Okay.
You know, it's interesting about Gone Girl. I mean, obviously David Fincher's the best, and Affleck played a little trick on him. He with the cinematographer. He's like, let me switch the lens here and see. I guarantee Fincher doesn't notice it. And the DP's like, yeah, he will. He's like, no, he won't. So Fincher goes up to the thing. They're ready to shoot the scene. Looks in the thing. He's like, why's the camera off? And Affleck started laughing and stuff like that. So he's like, wow, this guy is. And he said it was just like the slightest touch, the slightest. I'm talking like a little tiny switch of the camera. And Fincher noticed exactly. That's how, amazing he is. And his movies are so saturated and so dark. I mean, he can make like Dolphin Tale look creepy. It's unbelievable. But I was at a party the one time.
That wasn't. You have another story?
Yeah, I was at a party with a girl in the movie.
Okay.
It's a little, I forget her name, Lola Kirk.
Great.
So she was throwing up, it wasn't her party, but she was at the party. Okay.
Come on.
And it was getting really boring. So I was like, hey, does anybody here want a reverse chicken fight? And everybody's like, what's that? And I'd be like, I'll tell you.
No, we're not going into the story.
Well,
Give
it's
me
like
your
the-
list.
yeah,
I
it's a
don't want.
reverse chicken
I
fight.
don't want to. I don't. No. List.
Okay. All right. That's a good story.
No.
Okay. Gone Girl, number 1.
Okay.
Annabelle.
Annabelle.
Yeah.
Jumping to number 2.
I got a little story about that. Tony Amendola's in it too, and he played like Salman Rushdie in the Seinfeld episode.
Okay.
But I was dating a girl who had a collection of those like American dolls.
Okay.
And those things have human hair, and they're really super scary. I'm like, why are you paying $300 for these dolls? She's like, well, it's a hobby. And I was like, yeah, it's a creepy hobby, though. These dolls look real. You're not afraid of these things? She's like, no, my cousins like to come over and play with them. I'm like, they could use that hair for, like, cancer victims and people who are sick. I didn't deal with her anymore after that. But the movie's really scary, apparently. So,
That was your story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Number 3 is going to be Denzel in The Equalizer again.
All right.
But not by much. I think Annabelle will squeak him out maybe by like 1.5 million or something like that. This is going to be a really tight 1 through 5. I don't know what the hell JT is talking about. Because Gone Girl is going to make 30. I'd say Annabelle 20. Equalizer about 18.5. And this is where it's going to, because I was 1 for 5 last week, and I'm sorry everybody who believes in me. But it's going to be Maze Runner or Box Trolls. I think
Who are you
it's
giving
neck
it
and neck
to?
again. I am going to give it to Maze Runner.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with Box Trolls number 5. I think this is where I leave you. We'll get out of there. But that's something else too, though. I don't know.
My list is very similar to yours.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also dropping This Is Where I Leave You. I don't think that's making it top 5. And I think we're going to see a huge drop in Maze Runner. So I'm giving it Gone Girl. I feel like that's settled.
It's going to make a ton of money.
We were in so much agreement last week about Equalizer.
People
but
need to be creeped out.
Number 1's going to be Gone Girl.
Mm-hmm.
I think because they're looking for a creepy movie, that's going to bring the audience, separate Annabelle and Gone Girl. I don't see you want to see 2 scary movies in a weekend.
Everybody's
and they're picking
getting
Gone Girl
Halloween.
over it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to go see Equalizer, which is going to come in number 2.
Ooh.
And then it's going to be Annabelle. And then we're going to go also to Maze Runner and Box Trolls. I just don't think you can have... It is October, but it's the first week of October.
Mm-hmm.
People are just warming up to the being scared and being frightened. I don't think that's really going to hit this week. I don't think we're going to see 2 scary movies win the box office. I think we're going to have to see a little bit of separation. They're pulling from the same audience.
Right.
So definitely Gone Girl number 1, but then Equalizer.
I don't know. I think you're wrong about that. I think Annabelle, it's October now. Gone Girl is going to...
It's October, but it doesn't feel like October yet.
Have you gone like the CVS's? The candy is everywhere. All little Halloween shops are popping up all over the neighborhood.
That's true. The pumpkin patches have started.
Do you go to the West Hollywood parade?
Yes.
What you do?
I mean, I live right there.
What are you thinking about dressing up as this year?
This is not prevalent
Well,
at all.
it's getting close to Halloween.
I don't know yet.
All right. So Annabelle's number 2. I don't know what you're talking about. But I think Gone Girl is going to take away a lot from Equalizer. It's the same kind of like, it's sort of the same thing, action, crime-ish. That's why I think Equalizer is going to sit in the third position.
Okay, well, we will have to see this week. You guys, thank you so much for watching us and keep tuning in. Please go to our Facebook page. Leave your predictions. Leave your thoughts. We want to know what movies you're seeing, which movies you're liking. Also, our YouTube channel, youtube.com/schmoesnopodcast. Check us out there. If you didn't see last week's show that we were both on, the Schmoes No Movie Show, check that out.
It's amazing.
Make sure you're subscribing and you rate and you comment and you let us know what you think, because you're the reason we do this show, and we only keep doing it if you guys subscribe.
That's true.
So, schmoesno.com.
At Bob Finstock, Twitter.
I don't have a Twitter.
You're gonna have to go to Sarah's doorstep to get in touch with her. She's like impossible.
Please don't do that.
She's like a 1960s
I have a vicious
grandma.
dog, so be careful.
Yeah, I just did an episode of Between the Sheets with Josh McCouga. That's going to be amazing. My buddy's opening up a bar in New York, Tough Guy Rizzo. That's going to be a cosplay bar.
I don't know what's happening over here. So guys, come back next week.
Poof, it's my
JT
birthday
will
too.
be here. I don't know if you're telling the truth.
No, today's my birthday, September 29th. I'm a Libra, a left-handed Libra.
I don't know if you're lying, so I don't know if I should actually say happy birthday.
You should say happy. Thank you.
Yeah? Happy birthday?
Yeah.
I don't know. All right. Bye, guys.
See ya.
For producers Christian Harloff, Mark Ellis, and the entire Schmoes No Network crew, we would like to thank you for listening to Box Office Breakdown. Special thanks to Kevin Undergaro and Maria Menounos, the author of Every Girl's Guide to Diet and Fitness, in stores now. To watch or listen to other Schmoes No Network episodes, get movie news, and join the conversation, be sure to visit schmoesno.com. And don't forget to rate and review this show on iTunes. I'm the Pit Boss, and this has been a presentation of Schmoes No